All right, so when did you first decide you wanted to pursue acting seriously as a career?
This is a long-winded story, so bear with me. I was in my advanced learning classes in 3rd grade, and my dad wanted me to be able to do all my PowerPoint presentations, efficiently and and not get nervous in front of the class. So he decided upon a theater camp over summer to sort of like help with the public speaking and using your arms and using your diaphragm and the nerves. And so I sort of like started falling in love with it there, and the sort of camp director or camp counselor that was a part of my group was also the casting director for Dallas Theater Center back home. So she's like, hey, I would love for Kenton to come and audition for Christmas Carol, which was unbeknownst to us one of their biggest productions. And so I went in. They go, so do you have a headshot? And we're like, what? What's a headshot? And they're like, well, it's, it has his resume. And he's like, he's in 4th grade. He's in elementary. So basically, she's like, it's okay, we got a Polaroid. So took a Polaroid. He wrote on the back, went to your summer camp. So I went in, sang like "Joy to the World," and I did some scenes, and then they put me in as Jimmy Cratchit, adolescent Scrooge, and ensemble. And so that was my first 36 performance in between Thanksgiving and Christmas Eve, and I loved every second of it. I'm like, this is awesome. And I was doing school along with it, so it was tough because I'd have to go to school and then for the first 15 minutes, so I'd be counted, like as I was there, get my school stuff, and then go. So and the teachers were like super supportive. They're like, we can't wait to come watch you. Like this is gonna be great. And so that after that progressed, I'm like, oh man, okay, that was exhausting. My parents were like, yeah, let's just take a little bit off. So we went to next year, same time, and then Ragtime came up. So I'm like, oh, that'd be great. So I go and I auditioned for Ragtime, and it's in our version it's just the only two kids are the boy and the girl. So I was the boy, and so it was just a lot of fun. And everybody that was in that cast had fabulous voices, and they were just really nice people. And so I had enjoyed it there. And I'm like, Dad, I'd really like to do this. And he goes, well, let's put you in. Education's huge in my family, so it's like let's put you in another camp. You can see the other side of it and sort of see if you really want to go through all the hard work. I'm like, all right. So I went to this camera. It's like on camera, like improv and commercials, and monologues, and this whole thing. And there was a little showcase, and Miss Osbrink happens to be the friend of the camp director at Yaz, and so she came over and she just sort of hung out just to say hi, hang out with her friend. And so she saw me do my little thing, and she came up to my dad afterward, and she's like, I think he's really got something going there, and I'd like for you guys, come out like sometime in January, like during pilot season for just 6 weeks. No strings attached, just come out and we can see what happens. And we're like, okay. So we came out, and 6 weeks like turned into 12 weeks. I started getting some stuff, and so then we were like, okay, we need to probably take some time and think about more. So we went home, came back, and then the rest is history.
And so your biggest role to date has obviously been Gunther on Shake It Up. How challenging is it for you to keep the accent, and what do you do to prepare for it?
Well, I created his accent. So
Okay.
For me, there's no trouble at all between going through Gunther and then going back to Kenton. So I can go back to Gunther and go back to Kenton within seconds. So I'm sort of like a car that goes from 0 to 60 because the energy sort of comes along with it. So continue to be Gunther all day long is quite tiring.
Mm-hmm.
To be Kenton is to be calm and to be collected and to enjoy life and to be fun-loving. And to be Gunther is to be excited and yelling pretty much all the time. To keep him up is to just sort of stay good with your exercise and eat right.
What's been the biggest change in your life since you've gotten such a high-profile gig?
Really just sort of trying to make sure I find time to hang out with my sisters, because they're a huge part of my life and they're really dear to me. So just sort of finding time where it's just the three of us has been sometimes difficult, because I can tell they sort of get annoyed when it's fans and them.
Mm-hmm.
So I try and figure out like, okay, let's go get like a movie and just do it at home, rather than going out, because that's gotten a little hard.
Okay. And when you're on hiatus from the show, or when it eventually wraps, what other projects are you looking to do? What type of genres?
I really would like to go back and explore my dramatic side, where I was in Lost, and
Mm-hmm.
so I got to do all of that stuff, as well as like stuff like Cold Case, and I did Bella and I have known each other for a long time, because we did a scary movie or thriller together,
Mm-hmm.
where we got to run around in a graveyard and like burlap sacks and like ghost makeup and stuff like that. So that was a little fun thing that we did together, and so we became friends from that, and the whole cast from that actually still knows each other today, and we'll all go roller skating and stuff from time to time. But I would really enjoy going back to that dramatic side and possibly even going into some action roles.
Okay. And you mentioned that you also sing, and obviously we know you can dance, so you're kind of like a triple threat.
Oh,
Is there one you
thank you.
prefer over the other?
I always sing, so that sort of will be there no matter what. Over dancing, I would probably have to say acting would probably be over dancing. Just simply because I love walking in other people's shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, for me, Gunther is literally like sort of, stepping into like the avatar body. Like you sort of have to zip them up in the back and
Mm-hmm.
hope not to get caught, like with your hair. And so that's what Gunther is. Like he's my separate body or entity here. When I put on the clothes is when I become Gunther.
Okay, and I'll combine these two questions. What advice have you been given that you would like to pass on to other people, and what advice of your own original advice would you like to pass on to other people in terms of people starting their career in the entertainment industry?
Well, especially in the entertainment industry, never get mad at yourself. I mean, it's good to be your own judge, but to be grumpy and mean to other people is probably not the best solution to judging yourself. And I'm especially in my family, I'm very well known for that, whether it's sports or whether it's dancing, because I like to be sort of nitpicky on myself, which I think is good because I've found myself great growth. So definitely be picky about how well you're doing, and always strive for being better, because sort of like perfection is far off, especially with dance. So that way I'm always working towards it. And then for my own advice, my fans on Twitter, we call ourselves dreamers. And I always write "Dream Big" on every autograph, or I try to if I have the time. And so always dream big, because your dreams equal your hopes.
Mm-hmm.
And people always say if you don't have a hope, you don't have anything. You have nothing. So always to keep your dreams high and to keep your hopes high. Because you might get let down sometimes, but you always find you'll get there in the end.
And being thrown into the role in such a high-profile show, how do you keep yourself grounded?
Well, I still do chores. I still cook for the family. I still, go home to Texas, and I do my schoolwork. I keep my A's straight. And so, I mean, like, I work for it, and it's definitely a challenge, but it's something that I feel, if God willing, I'm ready to be worthy for the challenge.
Cool. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
Thank you very much.